SVBony is one of the better-known brands in budget to mid-range astronomy optics, so I wanted to see if any of that astronomy telescope expertise made it down to their least expensive 50mm spotting scope, the SV28. Let's find out. This is not made in Russia, it is made in Hong Kong, so I don't understand what the SVBony, where the name comes from, and their website doesn't say anything about it in terms of the history of the name, but again, just something I would, if you happen to know, please let me know in the comments, because I am curious. Okay, so we have a very inexpensive tripod. It is simple. Okay, so mini tripod. And it comes with a phone adapter, so that's helpful. I have one of these already. This design I don't particularly like because this sort of clamp that keeps your phone in, as you see, slides off way too easily. They really should have put some sort of adhesive on the inside or some glue. But that's the only thing I don't like about this particular design of this kind of phone holder, is that these just slip off way too easily. I will probably swap this out for something else, or modify this with something that has a little bit more of a tack on here. But these are just junk. But the rest of it seems okay. Metal, what have you. Fine for spotting scopes. Actually, for the most part, this should be fine for spotting scopes, but I find this design to be terrible if you're putting it on a rifle scope, because the recoil just shakes this thing and these pads off too easily. Okay, but enough about that. Let's look at the scope itself. And this box is pretty generic looking. Now, this is nylon fabric with some fake leather. Not really a great... Oh, okay. And a separator for putting the tripod. Yeah. So it doesn't scratch up your optic, your spotting scope. And let's get this out of the box. Anything else in here that I should be aware of? Oh, it does come with a microfiber cleaning cloth, user manual. So that is helpful. Alright. And let's take a look at the optic itself. Really lightweight, not surprising. Has a nice matte textured coating on it, and it has SVBony waterproof, so that's good. We'll test that a little bit later. We have a front lens cover and built-in sunshade. This is the 15 to 45 by 50 size. I wanted to get something fairly small, and this is, let's measure this out here. And these squares is an inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just a hair, about 11 and a half by, let's see if this is the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 inches tall to here. This is the objective lens and your fast focus. There's no fine focus, so this is just your focus. And this is the magnifier knob on your eyepiece, which is the eyepiece removable. Yeah, I think it is, but anyway, I won't fuss with that too much. And has an eye cup. So it goes from 15 over to 45. Fairly lightweight. Feels like maybe just about a pound, and not a bad pad for the bottom of this. Okay, so enough about looking at the outside. Let's go test it out and see how well it performs. We're looking through the scope at 15 power, and we're looking at Mount Davidson, the tallest peak in San Francisco, and the hilltop is 1,250 meters away. Now I'm going to increase the magnification to 45 power, but as you can see here, I'm starting to have problems correctly aligning the camera to the eyepiece, and that's because the whole eyepiece rotates when you change the zoom, the magnification, and that changes the position of the camera, which you again have to loosen and reposition, so it's a little annoying. And it doesn't help that the visible eye box also gets smaller. This is what you see at 45 power, and it is a bit shaky because it was a windy, gusty day, but you can make out two hikers at the bottom of the frame here. Now at 45 power, there is a significant drop in overall image quality, in brightness, in contrast, in clarity and detail, as well as the eye box and eye relief. It really is stretching it beyond the capabilities of this particular scope's optics to be pushing it to 45. I think you're better off leaving it at 25 or 30 power for bird watching or observing nature, but you know, that's your call. Next, I took it to the gun range and got some additional opinions from my fellow club members. Now this compact spotting scope is not suited for long-range PRS or NRL type shooting. If you're at 100 or even a 200 yard range, this is a perfectly workable spotting scope. The included bipod, though very basic in design, was mostly metal and very robust and stable, as well as lightweight. And camera mounting issues aside, the focus wheel and the zooming eyepiece turned smoothly. Now the main reason that I'm testing out the scope is to see its suitability at spotting 22 long rifle shots at 100 yards, and here we have a 6-inch target, and while I can barely make out the 4 holes on the white of the paper target, I really can't make out the hits on the 6-inch black. And on the lens resolution chart, you can make it down to element 3 on the -1 group, which is actually pretty good. Now I'm going to tell you what I really think of the SV28, but before I do, I'd like to invite you to check out and subscribe to Moondog R&D. That's my new YouTube channel where I review gadgets, gears, and electronics, and generally things I think you'll find interesting. Okay, the SVBony or the SVBony or SV28, a Chinese-made optic with a vaguely Russian-sounding name. Actually, I'm assuming it's pronounced SVBony, like the Siberian town of Sabodny near the Chinese border, or maybe it's pronounced SVBony. I don't know actually, but I did reach out to the company, but they never responded. So if you know somebody who works for the company, or you know for sure the correct pronunciation, please leave me a comment. So let's start with the bad things, like the fit and finish is kinda sloppy, especially in the black paint around the body seam. The image quality is noticeably soft along the edges. Its contrast and brightness is just so-so, but I suppose better than average for a budget scope. To be fair, you can make out 22 sized holes at 100 yards, which is pretty good and the whole point of me trying out this scope. But at max magnification, the image does get dim, and the eye box gets small, and the eye relief as well. So if you wear glasses, it can be a bit problematic. Now, other spotting scopes in the $50 to $65 range are going to have the same or worse image quality, clarity, brightness, and eye relief. The next best scopes by Celestron and Go Sky offer better image quality, but at $30 to $40 more, and hundreds of dollars more for premium brands like Leupold and Kowa. But why pay for that much scope if you're only going to be doing occasional bird watching or shooting at 100 yards or less? In that case, this may be all the scope you need. And if it is, I've included a link in the video description so you can pick it up from Amazon where I bought it from. They usually run around $60. I think I got it on sale for about $56. Now, of course, this channel gets a tiny commission if you use that link to purchase this scope, but it'll cost you the same whether you use that link or not, so do me a favor and use the link. And if you happen to own an SV28, especially the larger 60, 70, or even 80mm version, please let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see what you think of this scope's bigger brothers. And finally, if you found this review to be helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll be reviewing other spotting scopes soon, so hit that notification bell and you'll be notified when I post it up. Thanks for watching. Moondog, out. Hey, if you like this video, please share it on social media. Facebook, forums, MeWe, whatever platform you're on. And if you want to see more videos, check out moondogindustries.com.